in the heart of our democracy. Recently in Winnipeg, thousands of New Democrats came together with purpose and unity to choose our new leader, Avi Lewis. Avi understands this moment demands bold action. He knows Canadians are facing rising unemployment, soaring grocery bills, and crushing housing costs. He will fight for good jobs with fair wages and give young people real hope for the future. The truth is Canada's NDP is needed now more leadership. We will deliver the progressive vision our country needs and fight for the progressive, positive change Canadians deserve.
The honourable member for Oakville West.
Mr. Speaker, I rise today to recognize Oakville West's ongoing efforts to prevent bullying, especially among our youth. We are fortunate to have strong educational frameworks in place. The Halton District School Board's Respect Ed program provides essential learning on personal boundaries, abuse prevention, relationships. Complementing this is the Canadian Red Cross initiative Beyond the Hurt, which takes a peer-led approach to addressing harassment among youth, empowering them to support one another. Beyond the classrooms, the Women's Centre of Halton is doing critical work to help individuals break free from the blame cycle, fostering lasting and positive change. I'm also proud of my Oakville West Youth Council, which serves as a direct platform for our future leaders to research, discuss, and work on the issues that affect them most, including cyberbullying and online safety. By bringing their voices directly to this House, we ensure that the fight against bullying is not just something we do for our youth, but something we do together with them. Thank you.
The honourable member for Niagara West.
Today marks the start of National Public Safety Telecommunicators Week. It's a week to honour the dedicated 911 communicators who serve as the calm, steady voices behind the line during some of the most terrifying moments of a person's life. These professionals are often the first responders in an emergency. They listen to things that no one else will ever hear. The raw panic in a parent's voice, the final breaths of a loved one, the heartbreaking sobs of family facing unimaginable grief. They carry a heavy emotional burden, yet after a difficult call, they take a deep breath, compose themselves, and answer the next call with the same compassion, focus, and professionalism. To every 911 communicator across this country, please know how much you are appreciated. Your compassion, your courage, your steady presence in people's darkest moments, it matters more than you will ever know. We see the difficult work you do, we respect the weight you carry every shift, and we are truly, deeply grateful.
The honourable member for Kitchener-Conestoga.
Mr. Speaker, every spring there's a sure sign that warmer days are on the way, and in Kitchener-Conestoga that sign has been a cherished tradition since 1965, the Elmira Maple Syrup Festival. Recognized as the world's largest one-day maple syrup festival, Elmira, home to about 12,000 residents, welcomed around 70,000 visitors this past Saturday. Thank you to the tireless volunteers, the festival committee, and the dedicated sponsors whose support bring our community together year after year. The day featured pancake flipping contest, family fun area, incredible food, local vendors, live entertainment, and of course, pancakes drenched in pure Canadian maple syrup produced right here in Kitchener-Conestoga. All proceeds from the festival are returned directly to the community, supporting local charitable and not-for-profit organizations and turning a delicious day of celebration into lasting community impact. Year after year, the Elmira Maple Syrup Festival truly represents the best of community, agriculture, and springtime in Canada. Congratulations.
The honourable member for Vernon, Lake Country, Monashee.
Mr. Speaker, I rise today to recognize Henry Lai for his leadership in the Father's Knowledge Circle, a weekly meeting run by the North Okanagan Friendship Centre Society in Vernon, British Columbia. The circle creates a respectful, supportive space for fathers to come together and share knowledge and stories. Speaking at the Knowledge Circle took me back 20 years to the day I suddenly found myself a single father with my 3 young kids, living in a motel room. Things worked out for me, but for far too many men, the extra stress can be deadly. Single fatherhood is a growing demographic in our society, and the challenges and lack of support can be overwhelming. Nearly 1 million Canadians major depression annually, and 75% of all suicides in Canada are men. Volunteer support programs like this save lives, Mr. Speaker. Thanks to leaders like Henry Lai and programs like Father's Knowledge Circle, dads have a place to turn and a community that says to them that they're not alone. Thank you.
The
The Honourable Member for Vaudreuil. Mr. Speaker, I rise today, April 13th, during Autism Awareness and Acceptance Month. It's a month dedicated to highlighting the need for greater inclusion, understanding, and support for people on the autism spectrum.
That 2% or roughly 1 in 50 children and youth are diagnosed with autism spectrum disorder. The prevalence of autism amongst adults is estimated to be around the same at 1.8%. But no matter what the age, living with autism spectrum disorder can bring about significant life challenges. That's why I want to highlight the incredible work of the physicians who reach so much progress in helping to better identify and diagnose autism spectrum disorder, as well as the teachers, employers, and organizations like Autism Canada and the Canadian Autism Network, who in their own way work tirelessly to support Canadians living with autism. Canada is a better, stronger, and fairer place because of your hard work, and on behalf of all members of my community in Vaudreuil and all members of this House, thank you.
The Honourable Member for Prince George, Peace River, Northern Rockies.
Mr. Speaker, last week a Christian family of 8 was killed in Nigeria. 2 weeks ago on Palm Sunday, an attack on a mostly Christian Nigerian, 28 dead. Since 2009, Boko Haram and others have waged a brutal campaign attacking Christians in Nigeria. Millions have been displaced, villages destroyed, churches burned, and entire families murdered. Reports indicate over 7,000 Christians were massacred in 2025 alone. 3 churches on average are being destroyed every day, with over 18,000 churches destroyed since 2009. These attacks aren't just political disputes, they're violent attacks against innocent people just because they're Christians. Canada must speak out and stand up for the persecuted Christians and push the international community to act. Freedom of worship and conscience are core Canadian values that we can't ignore. To our brothers and sisters in Nigeria, we haven't forgotten about you. Stay strong, keep the faith.
The Honourable Member for Cape Breton, Canso, Antigonish.
Mr. Speaker, exciting news for the music industry in Cape Breton. Morgan Toney has just won his first Juno Award for the Traditional Roots Recording of the Year. He was honored for his album Heal the Divide, which showcases signature Mi'kmaltic genre, a blend of Mi'kmaq stories and Celtic tunes. From the small community of Wahamatcook, Morgan Toney's fiddle gets people stomping their feet or doing the traditional Mi'kmaq Gojwa dance. Mr. Speaker, Morgan Toney stated his win is dedicated to his late mother and that he always keeps her in his hearts while creating music. Morgan records at the Barnbrae Studio in Bedeck with Keith Mullins, a studio known for promoting the Mi'kmaq language, and Morgan always finds time to collaborate with others, kindly lending his fiddle to help other recording artists. Morgan Toney continues to inspire and make his community, his nation, and all of Cape Breton proud. Walaliak Morgan, well lugwen, asyoyi galuk taladige. Nidap.
The Honourable Member for Brampton West.
Mr. Speaker, today I rise to recognize and celebrate Vaisakhi. Waheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Waheguru Ji Ki Fateh. Vaisakhi is a sacred day for Sikhs in Canada and around the world. In 1699, our Guru Gobind Singh Ji founded the Khalsa, a moment of courage, equality and faith. April is also the Sikh Heritage Month, a time to honor faith, history and contribution. Across Canada, Nagar Kirtans fills our streets. They bring communities together. They reflect seva, unity, and generosity. Sikh Canadians strengthen our nation every day. Their contribution makes Canada proud. As we honor this sacred day, let us reaffirm our commitment to freedom, compassion, and justice for all. Waheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Waheguru Ji Ki Fateh. Bole so nihal.
The Honourable Member for Drummond. Mr. Speaker, Louis Saya, a Quebec comedy giant, passed away on April 1st. Co-author of Brew, Louis Saya is behind the most popular play in our history. He also leaves us the play Les Voisins, co-written with his longtime collaborator Claude Meunier, a play that continues to make us laugh at ourselves more than 40 years later. Ding et donc, La Petite Vie, Paul et Paul, Radio Enfer. It's impossible to imagine so many classics loved by families everywhere without Louis Saya's contribution. And what can we say about Les Boys movies? In 1997, the first movie in this series shattered all Quebec records for movies at a time when Quebec was the only place in the world where the Titanic failed to dominate the box office. In my book, this is a career that deserves every honor in the world. On behalf of the Bloc, I'd like to offer my condolences to his family, his loved ones, and the entire cultural community of Quebec who has lost one of its giants. Louis Seya, thank you for everything, and please have a drink with Michel Côté to us all.
The honourable member for Milton East, Calton Hills South.
Monsieur le Président,
Mr. Speaker, it's with great pleasure that we receive the Swiss delegation. We welcome them to Canada, as well as the President of the Swiss Confederation.
Democracy, innovation, and the rule of law. Depuis des décennies, nos deux.
For decades, our two countries have worked closely together to advance peace, prosperity, and international cooperation.
Like ours matter more than ever. They remind us that progress is built through dialogue, trust, and common purpose. As chair of the Canada-Switzerland Parliamentary Friendship Group, I am proud to highlight this visit and celebrate the enduring ties between our two nations. Ensemble.
Together, we will continue to strengthen this relationship for the benefit of our citizens and future generations. Thank you.
The honourable member for Lanark Frontenac.
Mr. Speaker, the Alto project will be the biggest expropriation event in Canadian history. Alto also costs more than Canada can afford. At $90 billion, it is larger than last year's record federal deficit. And if Alto experiences the 50 to 100% cost overruns that are typical for Canadian rail projects, it could easily be paused or even abandoned. This makes preemptive expropriations and land freezes doubly irresponsible. But preemptive expropriations are a hallmark of Liberal infrastructure policy. At Mirabel Airport, at Pickering Airport, and at LeBreton Flats, land was expropriated first, and the project cancelled later after costs skyrocketed. Mr. Speaker, citizens are not powerless. If enough Canadians sign e-petition E2703 against Alto, we can show the Liberals that Canada does not want the Alto project, not the expropriation, not the wasted billions. It's time for the government to go back to the drawing board.
The honourable member for Surrey Newton.
Waheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Waheguru Ji Ki Fateh. Mr. Speaker, this month marks the 7th anniversary of Sikh Heritage Month, which allows us to celebrate and educate future generations about the contributions Sikh Canadians continue to make across our country. Baisakhi, the founding of Khalsa, is being honoured today on Parliament Hill. On April 18th, Khalsa Day and Baisakhi will be celebrated in Surrey Newton, where the annual Nagar Kirtan will attract over 500,000 people. This celebration reflects the Sikh commitment to equality, selfless service, and unity. I thank the organisers of Surrey Nagar Kirtan and Sikh Canadians across our nation who over the past century have helped build Canada into the country it is today. Jo bole so nihal.
The honourable member for Edmonton Griesbach.
Mr. Speaker, the Prime Minister was asked yesterday what he'll do to help Canadians suffering with high gas and diesel prices. He didn't have an answer. Even in oil-rich Alberta, folks are paying well over $2 a litre for diesel. But here's an easy way for the Prime Minister to help. The feds are hauling in record revenues from high oil prices. So use $5 billion of that estimated $9 billion to help hard-hit Canadians. Conservatives have a plan. Suspend the fuel excise tax. Suspend the GST on gas and diesel. And kill the so-called clean fuel standard tax and hated industrial carbon tax. That would cut 20 cents off a litre of the price of gas and 21 cents off the price of diesel. Mr. Speaker, Canadians are suffering. They desperately need some relief from the pain at the pumps. The Liberal government must give them the relief that they deserve.
The honourable member for Winnipeg North.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Over 4,500 people from across Canada came to beautiful Montreal on Thursday and Friday, where Mr. Speaker, we were able to witness us very much a common thread. The thread being building Canada strong. Building Canada strong means looking at diversifying our economy. It means building Canada's infrastructure. That includes big projects, by the way. Growing export markets. It means buying Canadian. Mr. Speaker, by using the power of our economy, we are able to provide things such as health care, home care services, improve dental programs, pharmacare programs. Mr. Speaker, building Canada strong means building the strongest, the healthiest economy in the G7. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
The honourable member for Provencher.
Mr. Speaker, Canadians are pinching pennies as this Liberal government continues to pinch Canadians. Canadian families are struggling while this Liberal government is taking in the cash every time Canadians fill up their gas tank. Fuel prices have skyrocketed and the Liberals stand to collect almost $10 billion in additional revenue because Canadians have to pay more at the pumps. Yesterday, when asked how he would help Canadians facing rising gas prices, the Prime Minister said he was still looking at it. Canadians don't need any more studying or waiting or another MOU. They need relief right now. Well, here's an idea for the Prime Minister. Suspend all federal taxes on gas and diesel until the end of 2026. Remove the fuel excise tax, permanently scrap the industrial carbon and clean fuel standard taxes, and eliminate the GST on fuel. Ending those 4 taxes will save almost 25 cents a litre, saving Canadian families roughly $20 every time they fill up the tank. Canadians have been sacrificing long enough under this Liberal government. Suspend the fuel taxes, give Canadians...
The honourable member for Brampton South.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Waheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Waheguru Ji Ki Fateh. As we celebrate Vaisakhi and Sikh Heritage Month in April, we commemorate the founding of the Khalsa Panth in 1699 by Guru Gobind Singh Ji. This moment formalized the Sikh commitment to equality, social justice, courage, and service to others. These teachings continue to guide generations. Sikh Canadians strengthen our communities through seva, selfless service, uplifting those in need, and bringing people together. These are not only Sikh values, these are Canadian values. Today we are celebrating Vaisakhi on the Hill. I want to thank everyone who have joined from across Canada. On behalf of the residents of Brampton South, I wish everyone around the world celebrating a very happy Vaisakhi and Sikh Heritage Month. Vaisakhi diyan ਤੇ ਖਾਲਸਾ ਸਿਰਜਣਾ ਦਿਵਸ ਤੇ ਸਿੱਖ ਹੈਰੀਟੇਜ ਮੰਥ ਦੀਆਂ ਸਾਰਿਆਂ ਨੂੰ ਲੱਖ ਲੱਖ ਵਧਾਈਆਂ ਹੋਣ।
Oral questions, questions orales. The honourable member for Thornhill.
Anybody going to the gas station right now knows that the prices are simply out of control. Today, a litre of gas in Ontario is $1.70, and in BC, it's over $2. You don't just pay for fuel at the pumps; you pay an excise tax of 10 cents, a fuel standard of 7 cents going to 17 cents, and a GST on all of that. All of those are just federal taxes, adding up to 25 cents on every litre. Liberal taxes have turned a bad situation into a tax grab for the government. Will they adopt the Conservative plan and suspend all of those gas taxes today?
The Honourable Minister for Finance.
Mr. Speaker, we won't take lessons from these Conservatives. We are very, very aware of the situation, Mr. Speaker. We have been following this issue. Let me remind them that there's something called a conflict in the Middle East going on, Mr. Speaker. We're watching the situation. We had a meeting with our federal, provincial, territorial colleagues just last week, Mr. Speaker, and Canadians know that we are always there to support them in difficult times.
The honourable member for Thornhill.
There are some things the government can control, and there are many things that it should control. For the Liberal government, the pain at the pump isn't a coincidence. It's actually a policy choice. It's up to them now how much tax goes on every litre of gas. That sits at 25 cents. But they can make it 0 cents by adopting our Conservative plan. While they delay, Canadian families suffer with an extra $20 every time they fill up. The Prime Minister has been looking at it while Canadians have been paying for it. When does he plan on doing something other than just monitoring the situation?
The Honourable Minister for Finance.
Mr. Speaker, in fact, we have done a lot, and let me remind the colleagues, because it's Monday, the first thing that we have done was to lower taxes for 22 million Canadians. Well, just talk to your constituent. They will tell you, my friend. Just ask your constituent, they will tell you, Mr.
It must go through the speakership. We've had 2 weeks break, but it feels like people have forgotten a lot about the House of Commons. The Minister.
You know, it's all about emotion and passion in this House, Mr. Speaker. One thing that I can say, Mr. Speaker, is that the first thing we did under this government, Mr. Speaker, has been to lower tax for 22 million Canadians. But more than that, Mr. Speaker, we were there for Canadians with respect to grocery. We have been there to help them with childcare. We have been there to help them with pharmacare. We're there to help them with dental care.
The honourable member for Thornhill.
The minister won't stand up and give a clear answer. In fact, he won't even talk about gas prices, and it's very easy to see why. Oil prices aren't hurting this government, they're actually funding the government, because with every $10 of increase in oil prices, the Liberals get $2 billion more in tax revenue. That means Liberals are collecting a generational windfall at the pumps, while Canadians pay more for everyday essentials. I'll give the minister some more practice, and I'll ask him very slowly, will he suspend the out-of-control gas taxes and return the $5 billion to the people that paid for it?
The Honourable Minister of Jobs and Families.
Let's suppose for a moment, Mr. Speaker, that there is a generational windfall. I know what the Conservatives wouldn't spend it on. They sure wouldn't spend it on training for young people because they voted against that. They sure wouldn't spend it on building the kind of infrastructure that communities need while creating great paying union jobs because they voted against that. They sure wouldn't spend it on student food programs or an affordable early learning and childcare program that's saving Ontario families $16,000 per year per child because they voted against that. So what would they spend any kind of tax earnings on? Not Canadians.
The Honourable Member from Montmorency-Charlevoix. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. The government is taxing our road to success. Taxes seem to be the cornerstone of Liberal decisions throughout the world. Governments are acting to help their people overcome the current storm, but the Liberal government is doing the opposite. Ireland, Spain, Australia, Austria have all reduced their gas taxes to give a bit of breathing space for Canadians. Doing so would be responsible here, would be logical and effective. Will the Liberals follow our proposals and suspend the federal gas tax? The Honourable Leader of the Government in the House of Commons. Mr. Speaker, first of all, I would like to congratulate Ms. Christine Fréchette for her election as the leader of the Coalition Avenir Québec. Before I answer my honourable colleague's question, she's the next Premier of Quebec. Now, with regards to the gas tax, I'd like to remind my colleague that we have removed the gas tax for consumers. We've reduced taxes for 22 million Canadians. We have invested in childcare, we've invested in dental care, we've invested in groceries. The Conservatives voted against. The Honourable Member for Montmorency-Charlevoix. Canada has the fourth biggest oil reserves in the world. There is no reason for a country as rich as ours in resources to be so vulnerable to oil crises. After 11 years of Liberal governance, all anti-development laws are implemented and are weakening our country. We could have developed our resources intelligently like Norway. We could have enriched our society and fund our public services. We don't do that by taxing Canadians. Will the Liberals at least have the decency to give a bit of breathing room to Quebecers and Canadians by removing the gas tax? The Honourable Minister for Finance. Mr. Speaker, that is exactly what we have been doing. Allow me to help my colleague remember a few things. The first thing we did was reduce taxes for 22 million Canadians. There's also the Canada Childcare Benefit, the National School Food Programme, the Canadian Benefit for people living with disabilities, strengthening OAS. What we say to Canadians watching us today is that we have always been here for them in difficult times. And Mr. Speaker, People watching us know that a Liberal government will always be here to support them when times are tough.
The député de Beauce.
The honourable member for Beauce. Mr. Speaker, the Liberals claim that federal taxes on oil and diesel will have no effect on inflation or the cost of living. Seriously, who will swallow that? These taxes amount to 25 cents a litre. Meanwhile, Canadians, the people of Beauce, workers and entrepreneurs, are seeing their bills skyrocket, and their spending power is going down. My question is simple. Will the Prime Minister abolish the federal gas tax? Yes or no? The Honourable Minister for Government Transformation. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. The member wants to talk about what has an effect on people's costs. Childcare investments have helped thousands of people in his riding. Dental care has helped close to 2 million Quebecers, Mr. Speaker. What about the grocery benefits which will allow families to save $2,000 on average? We have increased the number of places in childcare centres, and they voted against every time. The honourable member for Gaspésie-les-Îles-de-la-Madeleine-Listigouge. Mr. Speaker, the Minister of Finance in C15 granted special powers to the company Alto to expropriate the citizens of Terrebonne to make way for the high-speed train. Bill C15 bears his own name. However, the media have revealed that the Minister of Finance has personal ties to Alto's senior management. A Liberal minister in the midst of an election in Terrebonne is therefore facilitating the expropriation of the people of Terrebonne, acting on behalf of a company with which he has close ties. Why is the Liberal minister working hand in hand with Alto to the detriment of the rights of the people of Terrebonne? The Honourable Minister of Finance. What a surprising question from the Bloc Québécois. It's old political tactics, so it's not surprising at all. Ad hominems, false allegations against members of the public service. That's not the kind of politics that Canadians want to see right now. I've followed all rules and will continue to fight the most resilient economy in the G7. The Honourable Member for Gaspésie, Île-de-la-Madeleine, Listigouge. Mr. Speaker, the Minister has never taken the necessary arm's-length distance. It's in his Bill C-15, which he himself tabled in the House, that we find the measures to facilitate the expropriation of the people of Terrebonne. It was he who asked for this bill to be drafted in response to his budget that he himself tabled. So, once again, the Liberal Minister has close ties with Alto's management. The Liberal Minister has legislated to help Alto expropriate the people of Terrebonne. Is it really the sort of policy the Liberal government is offering to the voters of Terrebonne today? The Honourable Leader of the Government in the House. That question, Mr. Speaker, is a dishonour on the Bloc Québécois. The Minister gave an answer with regards to Terrebonne and all communities that will be on the high-speed train path. I can ensure Canadians that everything will be done with due consideration, with due respect, with sensitivity. We'll be listening, but we will continue to build our dream train for all Canadians. The Honourable Member for Gaspésie-Île-de-la-Madeleine, Listigouge. Mr. Speaker, the only reason for which the Ethics Commissioner did not censure the Minister of Finance is because he himself would not personally benefit from these actions. No, those who benefit are the Liberal government and Alto, who will now be able to expropriate the people of Terrebonne more easily. And those who lose out are those who will find themselves on the route imposed by Alto for the high-speed train. Why do the Liberals not seek to win over the citizens of Terrebonne and work with them by truly listening to them instead of taking away their rights and threatening their land? The Honourable Leader of the Government in the House. Those who benefit are 40 million Canadians who have a dream, and that is a high-speed train, and they've been waiting for this for 40, 50 years. This dream is within reach. First of all, between Quebec City and Toronto, and will continue, Mr. Speaker, because we will have built the best technology. We're going to change the mobility landscape in Canada, and we will build this train.
The Honourable Member for Calgary East.
Liberal fuel taxes drive up the cost of gas and food. That's clear in Calgary East. Our Salvation Army saw a 500% usage increase in their food security program because of the higher cost of food. And like a typical Liberal, this Prime Minister would rather cash in on higher oil prices for his government than give Canadians a break at the pump. Will he implement our Conservative plan to remove all federal fuel taxes to save Canadians 25 cents per litre at the pump? Yes or no?
The Honourable Secretary of State for Financial Institutions.
Mr. Speaker, on this side of the House, we're going to continue to focus on making life more affordable for Canadians. We just launched a Groceries and Essentials benefit, putting up to $1,900 in the pockets of working families. We cut the taxes for 22 million Canadians. We cut the consumer carbon tax, the GST for first-time homebuyers. It's time for that leader and that party to focus on affordability for Canadians like we are. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
The Honourable Member for Calgary East.
He's bragging about a $90 tax cut. You can't even buy a jug of milk for that weekly. And Canadians are paying on average 20 cents more per litre than the Americans, and the difference is because of fuel taxes. The Liberal Prime Minister said he's looking into lower gas prices, but the answer is right in front of him. Will he implement our plan to get rid of all fuel taxes federally to save Canadians $1,200 at the pump? Yes or no?
The Honourable Secretary of State.
Mr. Speaker, I think it's pretty clear that Canadians from coast to coast to coast and members in this House are gravitating to our Prime Minister's leadership and his vision for Canada. We continue to make life more affordable for Canadians, cutting taxes, the Groceries and Essentials benefit, automatic federal benefits, the list goes on and on. On this side of the House, we're going to continue to focus on affordability. It's time for that leader to get back in this House and help us build a strong Canada. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
You know, the Honourable Member cannot, I know he wasn't, he was speaking probably more metaphorically, but we know that we can't indicate whether a member is present or absent. The Honourable Member for Middlesex, London.
Speaker, yesterday when asked about rising gas prices, the Prime Minister says he's still looking at how to help cushion the blow for Canadians. Well, let me help him out. The reality is that the federal government will collect more in royalties than it would cost to eliminate all of the federal fuel taxes for the rest of the year. Conservatives have proposed cutting these taxes to save 25 cents a litre at the pumps for Canadians. So will the Liberals help Canadians adopt our Conservative plan and just cut the taxes?
Hear, hear.
The Honourable Secretary of State for Labour.
Mr. Speaker, how you vote in this House matters. And on this side of the House, Mr. Speaker, we voted every single day to make life more affordable for Canadians. On that side of the House, Mr. Speaker, they voted against every measure to make life more affordable for Canadians, Mr. Speaker, whether it's delivering a tax cut that's benefiting 22 million Canadians, whether it's about the Canada Child Benefit, Mr. Speaker, reducing childcare costs, cutting the carbon tax that reduces the gas prices, Mr. Speaker, whether it's about delivering dental care, Mr. Speaker, the National School Food Program, Mr. Speaker. The problem for the Conservatives, they vote against it all.
The Honourable Member for Middlesex, London.
Mr. Speaker, it's still more rhetoric and still no results from these Liberals. Canadians have been pinching their pennies for long enough. The Liberals have the ability to use $5 billion of their $9 billion windfall to suspend the excise tax, the GST on gas and diesel, and permanently eliminate the clean fuel taxes and the carbon taxes. That would deliver over $1,200 in savings this year for a family of 4. So will the Liberals stop lining their own pockets for once and do the right thing and cut the gas taxes for Canadians?
The Honourable Minister of Women and Gender Equality, Small Business and Tourism.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. We are delivering relief for Canadians, whether that's at the grocery store or on everyday essentials like the gas. We've delivered the Canada Groceries and Essentials benefit, and as the member said, the perfect example she gave with the family of 4 is $1,900 additional for that family. We've also cut taxes for 22 million Canadians. We've done that, and premiers across the country, including Conservative premiers, agree with our plan, Mr. Speaker. We'll keep delivering for Canadians, and as Right to Food has said, this will turn the tables on food insecurity and deliver for all Canadians, Mr. Speaker.
The Honourable Member for Quebec, Mactaquac.
Mr. Speaker, in rural Canada, families and small businesses have no choice but to drive long distances for work, school, and basic services. And they are being hit with the hardest by soaring
cost and soaring fuel prices. Meanwhile, the Liberals stand to collect up to $9 billion in extra taxes and revenue from these higher prices. Will the Liberals adopt our plan to cut 25 cents per litre and make rural Canadians' lives more affordable?
Yeah! The Honourable Minister of Agriculture and Agri-Food.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. It's a great discussion today and good questions, Mr. Speaker. We're all concerned about Canadians. But one thing we've missed to talk about, Mr. Speaker, is the geopolitical situation we find ourselves in. Mr. Speaker, we're not in charge of everything that's happening in the East, but we're certainly looking at all applications. When we talk about investments, Mr. Speaker, we're talking about $1.5 billion towards initiatives to adopt clean technologies for our farming community, $3.5 billion Sustainable Ag Partnership with the provinces, Super Deduction Productivity Fund, Youth Employment, $27 million investment 2 weeks ago. We're doing everything we can to make life more affordable, Mr. Speaker.
The Honourable Member for Quebec-Mactaquac.
Mr. Speaker, rural Canadians and Canadians across the country, for that matter, know that our biggest challenges are not coming from without. They're coming from within through overtaxation and overregulation. When will this government, knowing that they're going to be collecting billions more because of these high taxes, when will they come up with a plan, adopt our plan, and reduce the cost on fuels by 25% or 25 cents a litre and provide $1,200 more immediate relief for Canadian families per year? Why won't this government stop the delays and finally give Canadians a break at the pump?
The Honourable Secretary of State for Seniors.
You know, Mr. Speaker, when we went to the polls just about a year ago, I went door knocking in my riding of Esquimalt Saanich-Sooke, and I talked to this gentleman, Craig, at the door. And he said to me, you know what's really important to me is an income tax cut. And here's the thing, I want to know why it would be better to vote for you than the Conservatives. And I said, well, because if you vote for us, the tax cut's going to come in right away. You get up to $800 a year. If you vote for those guys, you got to wait 4 years. It's not even in their plan until they're theoretically re-elected. So, Mr. Speaker, Canadians chose, they chose right.
The Honourable Member for Kitchener Centre.
Mr. Speaker, Canadians are struggling with the rising gas prices while this government keeps piling on taxes, taxes, and more taxes. Kitchener Centre families are paying more at the pump. Our seniors are worried about driving to see their grandchildren. Our workers have to pay more just to get to work on top of the rising cost of everything else. Why won't this Prime Minister adopt our Conservative plan and reduce the gas tax? It'll save 25 cents per litre for Canadians to give them the relief they deserve.
The Honourable Secretary of State.
You know, Mr. Speaker, as the Secretary of State for Seniors, I talk to seniors across this country, and I talk to seniors in Esquimalt Saanich-Sooke on Vancouver Island. And you know what they tell me? They tell me that they cannot trust these Conservatives. And they can't trust them because they have great memories. And you know what they remember? They remember that those Conservatives wanted to cut their old age security from them. They wanted to bring their CPP earning age up to 67. They wanted to make it more expensive to retire and to be more expensive to age. They know that they can trust the Liberal Party of Canada. They know that they can trust this government to have their backs.
L'honorable député.
The Honourable Member for Rivière-du-Nord. Mr. Speaker, the Minister of Finance tabled Bill C-15 concerning budgetary provisions. Yet, C-15 contains measures to help Alto expropriate the people of Terrebonne along the high-speed rail route. Mr. Speaker, you might be asking, what is the connection between the Minister of Finance, a budget bill, and expropriations? Well, there isn't one, except that the Minister of Finance has closed ties with Alto's senior management. Why did he use his budget bill to help Alto, with whom he's particularly close, to evict the people of Terrebonne from their homes? The Honourable Leader of the Government in the House. Even if the Bloc Québécois has changed spokesperson, it's still a dishonour on them. When it comes to asking the same question, this is a Crown Corporation that is building a high-speed train, a project that Canadians want to see. The people of Laval, the people of Montreal, the people of Trois-Rivières, and the people of Terrebonne, they all want to see this train happening. We will make this train happen for Canadians, for Quebecers, even if the Bloc is always against. The honourable member for Rivière du Nord. Mr. Speaker, if the minister had recused himself from the Alto case, he wouldn't have tabled a bill that directly concerns the Alto case and benefits Alto. The people of Terrebonne are not duped. What they see today is a member of the Liberal Party helping a company whose senior manager he is close to, a company created by the federal government. And he is helping the company expropriate the people of Terrebonne from their homes by undermining their rights. How do you, Mr. Speaker, expect the people of Terrebonne to trust this Liberal government after all that? The Honourable Leader of the Government in the House. Mr. Speaker, the people of Terrebonne want to see this train happen. They want to be listened as well. They want their opinions to be heard. They want us to go meet them. They want the government to consider their opinions, but they also want to go aboard and climb aboard a high-speed train that will go from Quebec City to Toronto and that will change the mobility landscape for Quebecers and Canadians, Mr. Speaker. We will build this train whilst taking into account people's opinions, but we will build it. The honourable member for Louis Saint Laurent, Akiawenrak. Mr. Speaker, inflation directly affects oil and gas prices. That affects all Canadians, those who fill up their tanks, and also those who buy goods that are transported. Mr. Speaker, this affects everyone. We can't control what's happening in Iran, however, we can control what's happening here. The government controls taxes. The Liberal carbon tax and gas tax. Our proposal is to abolish these taxes this year. That's $5 billion of savings for Canadians. They'll be in there. They'll stay in their pocket rather than be sent to the government. When will they help Canadians? The Honourable Minister for Government Transformation. Thank you. Yes, oil prices are affected by a number of factors like the conflict in Iran. There are some things we control. There are some things that he controls as well. What he controls is how he votes in this House of Commons. He voted against the Canada childcare benefit that reduced child poverty by 40%, that gave thousands to needy families in his riding. He voted against dental care that allows many people in his riding to have access to dental care for the first time. He voted against a whole range of measures that help affordability. The Honourable Member for Louis Saint Laurent, Akiawenrak. Well, let us talk about this minister's vote. He was elected in 2015. There were many people here who were there, and they said, we will implement a liberal carbon tax, and that's the best way to help the environment. And what have they done? What did they do 9 years later? They abolished said liberal carbon tax. Mr. Speaker, yes, applaud them. They flip-flopped in the right direction. They abolished the carbon tax, so why shouldn't they abolish the other gas tax? The Honourable Minister. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. He's right. We didn't stop there. We reduced taxes for 22 million Canadians, Mr. Speaker. We tabled the grocery benefit that gives up to $1,800 to families, those who need the most. That's 12 million Canadians. I'm very proud of our record. We've helped Canadians from coast to coast to coast, and we've helped Quebecers to fight against the affordability crisis. The Honourable Member for Portneuf-Jacques-Cartier. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I'd like to invite my colleague to live in the present and not the past. Canadians are suffering from the economic situation. I want to distribute food aid at the Portneuf Women's Centre. The volunteers are kind, generous, but at their wits' end. There is more demand and fewer food supplies to distribute to people from all walks of life who have vital needs. There's a simple and quick solution. Suspend the excise tax on fuel and GST on oil and diesel. Will this Liberal Prime Minister take the necessary measures now, not in the past, but now, to provide immediate assistance to Canadian families? The Honourable Parliamentary Secretary for Nature. We are currently helping Canadians, Mr. Speaker. In my honourable colleague's riding, the Canada childcare benefit grants up to $8,000 a year per child. The Canada grocery and essential benefit grants up to $1,800 a year. The dental care program has helped close to 20,000 people in his riding, $800 savings in average. So we have acted to help Canadians in these particularly difficult times. We are acting, and he keeps voting against. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
The Honourable Member for Portneuf, Jacques Cartier. Mr. Speaker, as gas prices skyrocket and the Liberal government rakes in billions more thanks to rising oil prices, how much longer will the Prime Minister be thinking it over before taking action, while Canadians, meanwhile, are struggling to make ends meet? Why is he refusing to act now by suspending federal taxes on gas and diesel? Will the Prime Minister, the Liberal Prime Minister, finally adopt our Conservative plan to eliminate these taxes and allow families across Canada to save hundreds of dollars at the pump by the end of the year? The Honourable Parliamentary Secretary, or Secretary of State, rather. We didn't wait to help Canadians. Since we've been here, this government has acted. For a family of 4 in my colleague's riding, up to $21,000 if you count all of the different tax cuts and benefits that we have brought in the last year. That's acting for Canadians. And so that is why that's the solution we've put in place. And every time these solutions were proposed, my honourable colleague, well, he said no. I think that it's important that he sees things in the overall context and the systematic help that we're offering Canadians. The Honourable Member for Côte-du-Sud, Rivière-du-Loup, Kamouraska-Témiscouata. In rural areas, Mr. Speaker, getting around, driving isn't a choice, it's a necessity. Our young people depend on transportation to get to school and their activities. But with gas prices skyrocketing, drivers are struggling and our young people are paying the price. The federal government is raking in billions of extra dollars thanks to rising oil prices. Yesterday, the Liberal Prime Minister said he was thinking about solutions. Canadians, however, don't have the luxury of waiting for solutions. Why is the government refusing to suspend federal taxes on gas and diesel to give our young people in our rural areas real relief? The Honourable Parliamentary Secretary to the Minister. Our colleague is right. Yes, our colleague is right. Since February 28th, the price of gas, at least in my area, has gone from $1.45 a litre to about $2 a litre. Because the price of oil has gone up by $60 a barrel, Mr. Speaker. That's the problem. The problem is the war in the Middle East, Mr. Speaker. In the meantime, we have put in place a series of measures to help Canadians make ends meet, including the Canada Child Benefit. Mr. Speaker, as my colleague said earlier, that's $8,000 per family, Mr. Speaker, per family.
The honourable member for Brampton Centre.
Mr. Speaker, at this historical moment for our country, we have a choice. Will we look back on nostalgia as a strategy, or will we invest in ourselves to build better cities and communities? Last week, Canada's new government launched the Build Community Strong Fund, an historic $51 billion investment to build the roads, bridges, transit, and community infrastructure our future depends on. On behalf of the people of Brampton, can the Minister of Housing and Infrastructure tell this House what this critical new investment will mean for people in our community?
Bravo. The Honourable Minister of Housing and Infrastructure.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I want to thank the member for this great question. I was wonderful to be in Brampton last week with the Prime Minister to announce the funding for a new community centre, the Embleton Community Centre and Park in Brampton. $64 million investment for a 175,000 square foot community centre. It's exactly the kind of project that we promised Canadians we would deliver. Mr. Speaker, this is one of 13 initial projects for the Build Community Strong Fund. There's much more to come in the weeks ahead. It's time to build.
The honourable member for Newmarket Aurora.
With gas prices soaring, this Liberal government is now expected to receive up to $9 billion more in revenue from higher oil and gas prices. This is revenue they never budgeted for. But for Canadians, these are higher costs they never budgeted for. It means higher prices at the pump, at the grocery store, or just to get by. Will the Liberal government commit today to dropping the 25 cents per litre tax on gas for the remainder of the year so Canadians are not punished while this Liberal government profits?
Hear, hear. The Honourable Minister of Artificial Intelligence and Digital Innovation.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Instead of repeating talking points, let's give some facts about building an affordable life for real Canadians. We cut tax for 22 million Canadians. Our food and groceries essential bill will put almost $1,900 in the pocket of a family of 4. We are building affordable homes, Mr. Speaker. Let's not forget dental care and health care. Real help for real families and real jobs for a real affordable life, not talking points, not fiction.
The Honourable Member for Newmarket Aurora.
Mr. Speaker, there was no acknowledgement of the $2 per litre gas and no solutions to address it. What we hear is we're looking into it, we're following the issue, or we're just patting ourselves in the back for something. While they are raking in the profits, families are paying more at the pumps, at the grocery store, and just to get by. So when will the Prime Minister start acting by immediately adopting our Conservative plan to drop federal taxes on gas and diesel for the remainder of the year so Canadians can have a break at the pump?
The Honourable Minister.
Mr. Speaker, we're investing in Canadians. We are investing in businesses because, unlike the opposition, we realize we are in a trade war and we've got to support our businesses. Let me give you some example. In Markham, we invested in CES Transformer, creating 143 new jobs there. In Thorold, we've been investing in Axe Building, 32 permanent new jobs. In Kit Steel, we're investing in companies, in families, to make life more affordable and to build this into the strongest economy in the G7. That's how you win.
The Honourable Member for Cloverdale Langley City.
Affordability has gotten so bad that farmers in my riding are taking to social media begging this Liberal government for gas tax relief. This is planting season, one of the most fuel-intensive times of the year, and Tyler Heppel, a very popular Cloverdale farmer, said it plainly. When fuel costs go up, food prices go up. It's that simple. Families are already struggling at the grocery store, yet this government keeps collecting billions in extra as prices rise. The Prime Minister says he's looking at options. Farmers don't need looking, they need action. Will the Liberals remove federal taxes on gas and diesel before these costs hit every dinner table in Canada?
The Honourable Minister of Veterans Affairs.
Mr. Speaker, we're helping make food more affordable by introducing the new Canadian Groceries and Essentials benefits, giving family direct support when they need it most. We've also created the $150 million Food Security Fund to help communities expand access to nutritious, affordable food close to home. And that's not all. We're strengthening local food infrastructure across the country so producers can connect more easily with consumers. We're working hard to keep prices down and make more healthy food options accessible for more Canadians.
Hear, hear. The Honourable Member for Cloverdale Langley City.
What makes this worse is that the government makes more money the higher gas prices go. Every time the price at the pump rises, the GST rises with it. More pain for Canadians means more revenue for Ottawa. This is not just about high prices. The government is profiting from them. Families are cutting back. Farmers are warning food prices will climb again, and the Liberals are quietly taking in billions more. If they can collect billions extra from higher prices, why not give it back by taking taxes off gas and diesel? Will the Prime Minister finally give Canadians relief at the pump?
Hear, hear. The Honourable Minister of Veterans Affairs.
Mr. Speaker, we understand Canadians are facing affordability challenges, and Canadians in British Columbia understand there's uncertainty in the world. Canada's economy has been impacted by heightened uncertainty from emerging conflicts and unjust trade decisions. Our government is delivering measures to help Canadians weather current challenges, from automatic tax filings to the Groceries and Essentials benefit for 12 million Canadians to reducing taxes for 22 million Canadians. Our commitment is to improving affordability remains unchanged and unwavering.
The Honourable Member for Richmond Centre Marlpole.
Mr. Speaker, in the Cowichan-Lincoln case, the Liberal government instructed its lawyers to abandon the fee simple argument, the very cornerstone of private property rights in Canada. That decision has created real uncertainty for homeowners, businesses, and everyone who depends on secure land ownership in this country. By stepping back in court, this government is effectively walking away from defending Canadians' property rights. Will the Prime Minister reverse this decision and direct its lawyers to fully defend fee simple ownership? Yes or no?
Hear, hear. The Honourable Minister of Crown Indigenous Relations.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Canada disagrees with the court's decision, and we appealed that on September 8, 2025. At trial, Canada defended the validity of fee simple title granted by the Crown, and we will continue to do so on appeal. The decision's potential implications necessitates greater legal clarity, and our government is committed to attaining that clarity through the proper legal process. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
The Honourable Member for Richmond Centre, Marlpole.
The government says it supports private property rights, yet it negotiated the Musqueam Agreement behind closed doors, without protections and consultation with affected communities. That approach is creating uncertainty for homeowners, businesses, and investors who rely on transparency and stability. Canadians still feel their property rights are not safeguarded by this Liberal government.
Hear, hear.
Will the Liberals match their words with action and commit to a full legal binding transparency agreement and to protecting private property rights in all future agreements?
Hear, hear. The Honourable Minister.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. First off, let me be clear, the Musqueam Agreement does not affect private property rights.
Hear, hear.
An MOU was signed in 2017, and a framework agreement was signed in February. It's not a land claim, and it's not a title agreement. What the agreement was Musqueam's constitutionally protected Aboriginal rights in the specific areas of fisheries, stewardship, and marine emergency management, while also establishing a clear framework for collaboration between the First Nation and Canada.
The Honourable Member for Nanaimo, Ladysmith.
I'm from British Columbia, Mr. Speaker, where homeowners are anxious and builders are hesitating to invest. People are wondering if they're going to be able to renew their mortgages. They're asking about the value of their homes. Liberals and New Democrats told their lawyers not to defend our fee simple property rights. They unleashed uncertainty and chaos when we're already struggling with high costs and economic volatility. So what communities want to know, will this Prime Minister end the secrecy and instruct his lawyers to protect the supremacy of private property rights? Or will Canadians have to keep wondering if their homes are truly theirs?
The Honourable Minister of Justice.
Mr. Speaker, the degree to which the Conservatives have misconstrued the position of the Government of Canada indicates that they have not, in fact, read the pleadings that have been filed in the court today. To be clear, Mr. Speaker, Canada disagrees with the decision that was tabled by the Superior Court in British Columbia, and more than 7 months ago, we have appealed that decision because of that disagreement. We are seeking to advance arguments, as we have at trial, that would protect the private property rights of citizens, and we believe that this deserves legal clarity in the moment. I look forward to making the argument before the British Columbia courts, where this decision will be determined as a matter of law, not politics.
The Honourable Member for Cowichan Malahat, Langford.
Residents across British Columbia already face enough pressure from the high cost of living and continued economic uncertainty without wondering whether their homes are truly theirs. The Cowichan Tribe's decision now calls into question all private property rights while damaging reconciliation efforts across Canada. Closed-door deals without transparency are not in the spirit of truth and reconciliation. The Liberals must do better. They must provide unity and economic stability. Will the Liberals assure Canadians that all future agreements will put private property rights first while protecting meaningful reconciliation?
Hear, hear. The Honourable Minister of Housing and Infrastructure.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, this government supports the rights of private property owners, and this government is 100% committed to reconciliation. Canadians want the clarity that this appeal will provide. They do not want the fear and misinformation that these Conservatives are pushing out there in an attempt to divide Canadians. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
The honourable member for Langley Township, Fraser Heights.
Mr. Speaker, the recent BC Supreme Court ruling in Cowichan calls into question whether private property rights in Canada are secure, creating unnecessary economic risk in our economy. Clearly the Liberals have dropped the ball on this one, and right at a time when Canadians are facing pressure from higher costs and economic uncertainty. So, will the Liberal Prime Minister direct the lawyers to argue that private property rights in Canada must be secure for homeowners, farmers, businesses, and investors? Must be number one.
All right. The Honourable Minister of Veterans Affairs.
Mr. Speaker, has been said by some of my colleagues, this will not change private property rights. Reconciliation is our path forward for our country, and we will continue to move forward for both.
The Honourable Member for Prescott Russell Cumberland.
Mr. Speaker, in the face of economic upheaval, Canadians have done what they've always done: adapt, help one another, and keep moving forward. More and more Canadians are choosing to discover and celebrate what makes our country unique. As more and more Canadians choose Okanagan wines over those from California, or local breweries, such as the award-winning Bose Brewing in my riding of Prescott Russell Cumberland, could the Minister of Finance tell us how we are supporting this proudly Canadian industry? The Honourable Minister of Finance. I would like to thank the Honourable Member for her excellent question. I have good news for communities across Canada, Mr. Speaker. Let's raise a toast to Canadian breweries, distilleries, and wineries who are resilient facing rising costs and economic uncertainty. By extending the reduction in alcohol excise taxes for 2 years, we are protecting our brewers, distillers, and winemakers, and we're allowing them to put their best foot forward, Mr. Speaker. This will allow us to concentrate on growing their businesses, supporting local workers, and obviously letting them promote their products. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Member for Leeds, Grenville, Thousand Islands, Rideau Lakes.
At least 90 billion taxpayer dollars are at stake in the Alto high-speed rail project, and Canadians deserve to know that personal relationships aren't influencing government decisions. And the Finance Minister recognized the risk of a conflict of interest with his partner serving as a vice president at Alto. And the law says that he can't be part of decisions, discussions, debates, or votes when it comes to Alto. Canadians deserve to have confidence in their public institutions, in all elected officials, and especially when $90 billion at stake. So will the minister come before committee and address this conflict of interest?
The Honourable Government House Leader.
Mr. Speaker, the minister has already answered that question. There is no risk, of course, and the minister complies, as we all must, with some of the most stringent ethics rules in the world. As for Alto, as for high-speed rail in Canada, it is a generational project, one that is desired by people in that member's riding and people all over Canada, Mr. Speaker.
The Honourable Member for Leeds, Grenville, Thousand Islands, Rideau Lakes.
We've got the government House Leader disagreeing with his Finance Minister here, and this is the confusion that's created for Canadians. It's the Finance Minister who said that he needed to recuse himself from the discussions. He said he needed to put in place a conflict of interest screen, but then went ahead and participated in discussions, debates, even said at Senate committee that he was delivering the goods for Canadians. Exactly. Well, if he's recused himself, why is he also voting on this issue in the House? Canadians have concerns about how this $90 billion is being spent. They're concerned about this conflict of interest. Why won't the Finance Minister speak for himself, get on his feet and say he'll come to committee and address it?
The Honourable Government House Leader.
The minister has answered that question repeatedly, and we follow, as everyone must, the highest ethics code, the most stringent ethics code in the Western world, Mr. Speaker, and we will continue to do so.
The Honourable Member for Northumberland, Clark.
Mr. Speaker, if you're ever wondering how to make things more expensive, simply put a Liberal in charge. The Trans Mountain Pipeline cost more than 6 times the original budget. A RIVE scam, 700 times. And now the Liberals are asking Canadians to trust them with a $90 billion budget for a high-speed rail train. That's more than even the deficit. Canadians cannot afford any more of this liberal waste. Will the government focus on getting shovels in the ground for nation-building projects instead of blowing billions of dollars on a train to nowhere?
The Honourable Government House Leader.
Mr. Speaker, high-speed rail is a major nation-building project. Yes. High-speed rail is something that, you know what, Conservatives used to talk about. Their 2023 convention voted overwhelmingly to ask the government for high-speed rail. We listened very carefully to that Conservative convention, and I can assure you we're moving forward on at least that one Conservative policy, high-speed rail for Canadians, Mr. Speaker.
The Honourable Member for Carleton.
Mr. Speaker, at a time when some mistakenly frame the environment...
The member for Regina Wascana is next. So we'll start. We'll let the member for Carleton start again now.
Okay. Mr. Speaker, at a time when some mistakenly frame the environment and the economy as competing priorities, our government is taking a different approach. Can the Minister of the Environment, Climate Change and Nature share with the House how Canada's new nature strategy is both protecting our natural capital and building a stronger, more sustainable economy?
Here, here. The Honourable Minister of the Environment and Climate Change.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and I would like to thank the member from Carleton because it's a very important question. We were able to tour in his riding how sheep farmers and solar farming are working right alongside each other to create great jobs in rural communities. The nature strategy that we've put forward in our plan is going to work on creating 2 new parks, a marine conservation area in Eastern James Bay area and Seal River in Manitoba. But more than that, we're working on mapping to help projects be built well, and we're going to mobilize capital so we can continue to build these amazing projects.
Honourable Member for Regina Wascana.
Mr. Speaker, last fall the media reported that Regina's new federally subsidized electric buses could run for only 3 hours per day in the winter. But in response to a written question, the Liberals said that they, quote, have not been made aware of any instances where battery electric buses were unable to operate in cold weather. That's anywhere in the country. How is it possible for the Liberals to be so unaware of billions of dollars of waste, and why do they continue to throw money at buses that won't work in Canadian winters?
Great question.
The Honourable Minister of Housing and Infrastructure.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I appreciate the opportunity for member opposite to let me highlight the work that is going into the Canada Public Transit Fund and to the Zero Emission Transportation Fund. We have opportunities to invest in zero-emission transportation, battery electric buses. Technology is improving by the month. There are battery electric buses operating in many cities across Canada. Edmonton is currently the city with the lead. Edmonton, as some of the members opposite will know, is fairly far north in Canada, and those buses are running well. So there is evidence around the world that battery electric buses will deliver good transportation.
The Honourable Member for Winnipeg Centre.
Mr. Speaker, big corporations and grocery chains have found a new way to rip off people. It's called surveillance pricing. By using personal data to charge you more based on where you live, what you search for online, or how often you shop. This is predatory. It's just plain creepy, Mr. Speaker, and it's driving up prices even higher during a cost of living crisis. So will the Liberal government support our NDP motion and ban surveillance pricing to finally bring food prices down?
You're here. Good question.
The Honourable Minister of Finance.
Mr. Speaker, my colleague is raising a very important question, Mr. Speaker. That's why we have already increased the power of the Competition Bureau, Mr. Speaker, because we know that competition is the best way to ensure that we can stabilize price in the country. We will always be on the side of competition, and Canadians know they can trust us that we will always be on their side of the consumers to make sure that they have better price across our nation. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
I would like to highlight the presence of His Excellency, Mr. Pierre-Audrey Page, President of the National Council of the Helvetic Confederation. I'm just going to wait a few moments before we move on to our daily routine of business, so that MPs have the opportunity to exit the House of Commons, preferably.